Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Bleeding Crypto's Market Update. Today is Wednesday, August 28th, 7:05 a.m. local time. I hope you're having a good day, morning, or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Let me protect myself legally by giving you my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. I am wrong 99.9% of the time. So if you follow me and you use real money, you have a 99.9% chance of losing it all. This is just for entertainment purposes only, to be used for your fantasy paper trading. So if you guys go crying to the SEC or want to get a lawsuit and they listen to this disclaimer, they're going to laugh at you. They're going to say, this guy told you not to follow him. Why'd you follow him? He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's crazy. All right, guys, I'm just getting lucky lately. That's all it is. I just gotten lucky on my fantasy paper trading. That is all it is right now, guys. All right, so let's start off with our daily time frame. We'll look at our daily time frame, and we'll talk a little bit. We'll go in depth into the smaller time frames, and we'll dissect this latest move. So on yesterday's video, we were right here on this purple line. We had landed on our target, and when you look at the hourly time frame, you'll see that yellow arrow that I had pointed out for us to come up in here. And this, depending on what we did on this purple line, was going to determine whether we were going to bounce. This is what we all wanted to happen, all right? But like I told you before, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't run the markets. So I have to have two plans. I have to have one plan in case we come here and we bounce, and depending on what the behavior of the market is here, to determine if that's going to be the route that I'm going to take, or if I'm going to trade it this way based on the behavior on what happens in here. So as you can see, we broke below that, and we had an ugly drop. And I told you guys that last time we dropped this way, look at here, we dropped for $21,000 straight down. No higher lows, nothing. It continues to go. The market doesn't have to put in higher lows, lower highs. We want it because it gives us a chance to get in front of it, and that's what the market makers know. That we used to have a really disciplined, even on the high times, a very disciplined market as far as structures going up and down. Now it's not like that. They're getting smarter. The algos are learning. They're like, if we go up here and put in a higher and put in a lower high, they're going to jump in and then ride it and then we have to pay them. Well, no, we're not going to do that. So as you can see, it's been pretty significant drops before we even get one. And this was just a back test of breaking this here. That's all this was, a back test. Just like we knew. Well, not we, but I knew that we were going to come back in here, and I kept on expecting it and waiting for it. It didn't happen in the time frame that I wanted. It took an extra day. But again, I'm not that good. I'm just good enough to know that back tests are essential for viewing the markets because they play out 90% of the time. So those odds are in my favor. Now, let's go ahead and look on the smaller time frames for what's going to happen next, because even though we did break through here, it's not confirmed. And again, that is what I have to look for. I have to look for confirmation. I have to look for validation and invalidation. And this is not validated because I'm going to show you in the smaller time frames what can happen and what's the data that I'm using that could invalidate this line here. So what this implies is that we drop, we back test this purple line, and then we're going down. Because remember what I told you guys, I'm expecting us to come down here because of the V-shaped bottom. Doesn't usually happen that way. And we have liquidation data at $50,000. We have unresolved objectives down in this area here. They carry the exact same probability as what this had here. This back test that I was so adamant about, same probabilities. So when I have those probabilities, I can't just ignore it because I want to be a moon boy and say, no, forget it, not this time. Let's go. I can't afford to do that. So let's take a look at the hourly time frame, and we'll dissect this move in great detail. Okay, here is our Here is the hourly trade. Or the hourly time frame, better said. So let's back up a little bit and let's just review really quick what we were expecting yesterday and what did not happen. Because yesterday, one of the routes that I was looking for was to hit this purple line and back test what we did not back test here. When we left this, there was no back test. And I know the 90% probability it was going to happen. Now, I don't know if you guys recall, if you look at a video from this date right here, from the 23rd, I had this move and an arrow to here. And guess what? It didn't happen. When we consolidated like this, I said, you know what? If we're still consolidating here and this is going to back test, we're more likely going to put a fake out, a deviation. And if you look at the videos, maybe 2 or 3 days after that is when I put this arrow here for the new plan, because this plan didn't play out, but I knew this was going to get back tested. But this plan ended up happening. And again, look, it didn't happen on the time frame that I put this on at 6 o'clock in the morning, because that's when you can look from where I started the other thing on the 25th, and it didn't happen until what is that, 4 p.m. I can't believe that's horrible. I couldn't guess it exactly. God, I'm a monster. Why do you guys even follow me? But, and you know why, guys? And it's not that difficult. Here's the thing. I teach you that. I can show you how I came up with this. And yet it still passes through people's brains because they're so full of emotion. They're so biased to a bull or a bear. Rather than having the bias to the charts. The charts is the only thing that I'm biased to. Look at this pattern here. Look, I actually posted this here. I posted this here. And look, it didn't happen in my time frame. I said, you know what, this pattern here, this move here is looking exactly like this. I don't know if I posted it for Twitter. I think I did. I'm almost sure I did, but I did post it for my Discord team. And look, we got it. This arrow, obviously, again, it didn't happen in the time frame that I thought. It happened, this was the 24th. It happened a day later. But nonetheless, if you know what to look for, if you start recognizing the patterns in the smaller time frames, it leads you to a really good path of what's going to happen with a high probability. And add to that the fact that I knew we were going to come here with a high probability. I was trying to map out the route that it would take. And the route that it would take would be stopping out all of these long positions. Stopping out the short positions, trapping some long positions. That's a classic move. And then drop it. We bounced. We came here. So naturally, when we started to consolidate here on the 5 and 15 minute time frame, I have to believe, and that's the sequence that I follow. Once we have a confirmed drop, we can't think it's going to go low, low, low. It's going to go straight down. We have to have a proper market structure. And I can't also think that it's going to hit here and bounce and do this and just bounce and go here. It has to prove it to me. So the next challenge is you have to put a lower high. If you invalidate the lower high, then I can think this. That's the only time I'm allowed to think that. However, look what we did. A very shallow bounce, came back to it, and we broke right through it. It wasn't even strong enough to put this here. So what happens? I now have to do this. I got new data. Now I've got to take this here. This swing high is still applicable. Now I've got to drop this down to here. Then I've got to take this up, move that over, scoot that over, and now this becomes the plan. I still have to look for a higher low. It doesn't mean I'm going to get that lower high, not higher low, excuse me. It doesn't mean I'm going to get the lower high. It just means that that's the sequence that I have to follow. If you don't follow a proper sequence, a proper rule set, and you're all over the place, it's very difficult to be consistent on any type of gains you're going to make, because Once you have a system that's proven to work, meaning that it's right at least 55% of the time, at least it has to be right 55% of the time, you can create a base for that. And you can tweak it knowing what you need to fix if you don't start off with some sort of a base. So on this here, that becomes my new target. Now, before I get there though, look at the difficulties that are in front of us. This is the bottom channel of the horizontal channel that we've been working. We've been working with two channels, the horizontal one and the diagonal one. Let me go to the hourly time frame real quick. Let me go to the daily, and you can see both of them very clearly. Here is the diagonal that carries much more merit than the horizontal. Why? Because the horizontal is based off the high and this swing low. And if you notice, the path that it's taking, it's following the diagonal one, which has a hidden bullish bias. I guess maybe that is I think that's a correct way of putting it. And I'll briefly explain to you why. Let me show you, just to give you a little bit of a hopium. This may not look like much to you, but when you do this and you do this and you do this right here, my friends, this bull flag, you may not want to accept it or believe it. This is a bull flag. Okay? So this bull flag to me is what I mean by a hidden bullish bias. But within that time frame, there's going to be a lot of volatility. I'm okay with that. I am used to that. So that's why I have the horizontal, because there is some merit to the horizontal. So let me explain to you what that is. Let me just, here, we're going to hide indicators. The merit is more for the downside objective. So let me get rid of the horizontal for a minute. Let me get rid of the diagonal for a minute. And I'm going to show you what, see this yellow line here? Look at this yellow line. Look how great of support, resistance, support. And not only that, but the median line of that horizontal, tremendous respect. Resistance, support, resistance, beautiful. The top, nothing. There's nothing up here. Nothing up here other than marking the previous all-time high. That's all it does. But these two lines have enough for me to want to utilize it. So let me go ahead and put this back, and then we go to the hourly time frame. And now we get to dissect the next move. So now that you know the context of what this line is, and you know the strength that it has, as far as not so much strength, but respect. And I'm not worried about the resistance aspect of this. You know why? Because look, it easily gets broken, but it gets respected. That's what matters to me. And if you're lost on that, on what I'm talking about, let me show you, explain to you a little bit. We break it all the time. However, up thrust, back test. Lose it, back test. That's the respect that it has. Lose it here, back test. Up thrust above it, we come back, we back test, consolidate. We lose it here, there it is. Perfect back test candle bodies. Do you see what I mean? So I know that this line here is going to have a little bit of an impact, maybe a little bit of resistance when it hits it once or twice, or it may blow above it and back test it like I showed you many times before to the left. The most important line for me at the moment is going to be this one. This one here is where we're going to see whether the bulls or the bears, well, mainly if the bulls have enough steam to get us in here. Because look what happened. Look what happened, guys. Look what happened here. You see this? No back test. 90% probability it's going to happen again. Is it going to happen today, tomorrow, when we want it to happen? Probably not. I wanted this to happen. I wanted this to happen back here on the 23rd. Guess what? It happened on the 27th, 4 days later. Why? Because I'm in a hurry and the market is not. So regardless of time frame, because it doesn't have to happen in any type of time frame, this has a 90% probability we're going to hit. And we're going to have one of two reactions. And this is the part of the TA that most people don't understand, or a lot of people, not most, but a lot of people don't like to hear. They want me to tell them exactly what's going to happen. And I keep on repeating to everyone in every single video, I don't know. We have to wait for the behavior. Look, this is a perfect example. I wanted to see this bounce to a lower high. It didn't do that. But on here, it gave it up. But once this gave up here, I knew that it's okay. No matter where this goes, we're coming back here. And we're going to back test this here. And getting in front of this move, I think, is going to be crucial. Because here's two ways of looking at this purple line. Right now, obviously, again, it's funny. People want to see just a green line to here. No. We had a beautiful market structure down here in the lower time frame. This is a nice W. I love W's. But on this side, we have rules to follow. We put in a low, we put in a high, we put in a higher low. As a matter of fact, you can look at this as a low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Definitely, you can easily do that. As a matter of fact, you know what? I should have done that. I just ignored this here because of the W. But if we were to put a continuation rule, which is this one to here, and excuse me, from right here into right here, did we respect? Okay, we almost lost it. When we close below here, the 0.50, we would invalidate it if we had not regained this here. This is just a deviation. So if this would have had a candle close below here, I would have been forced to do this. I would have been forced to do that. This hits it perfectly, but the difference is that this is a consolidation fib. This is a continuation fib. The difference between both of those is that when you hit this fib, you bounce. That's exactly what we did. That's exactly what we did. Now, did we complete the harmonic to that? I don't know. Let me see. Because that matters. That matters to me as well, because I also use harmonic patterns on my trading. Let's see. I love this shit. There it is. Perfect harmonic pattern off that bounce. Look at that. I can't make this shit up, guys. The TA is right there. It's the same TA I'm using in every video. So it's not like, oh, he's adjusting it to... No, I'm not adjusting shit. You can look at every video that I've done, and it's the same rules. This is my system. Not just this. I use a lot more. I use EMAs. I use MACDs. I use CMF. I use RSI. There's a lot more to it. But to keep it as simple as possible for the masses, I'm giving you just straight lines that may not mean much to you, but harmonics mean a lot. Google harmonic patterns, and you'll understand that this is not just about trading. Harmonic patterns are in everything around us, in nature, in humans, in DNA, all of that. So it works very well. It's very accurate when we utilize it for trading, if you know how to use it, if you know how to utilize it properly. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. So now what I'm looking for is another higher low. For what? To start climbing our way back up to here. Because I wanted to hit here, guys, guess what? It may not hit right away. We may roll over here, go much deeper to our objective. Remember, my objective, if we were to lose this, is down here. This doesn't have to get back tested right now. We can easily drop and come back much later. Let me give you an example of that. When we dropped here, we didn't touch this line for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days later. 8 days. This is day 1. Well, day 2. If you count this here, this is the drop, day 2. So though I would like to see it, and though you are in a hurry and want to see it happen today, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. But it doesn't mean it's going to happen today, but it will happen with a very high probability. It's funny because I shared with you guys yesterday that I was in a Spaces last week, and they had asked me for September 1st, what is my prediction where the price is going to be for the end of the month? I was the only guy who said between 55,000 and 50,000. Everybody was like, "Oh man, you're way too bearish. He's a bear." And I didn't say anything. I didn't comment. All right, I don't need to comment, because what I'd rather do is once it gets there, they understand that I'm not a bear or I'm not a bull. I follow the data. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. We still have 3 days, and in 3 days we can be up here. But I'm basing that decision not because I'm a bear or a bull. I'm basing it on facts. I'm basing it on objectives that I use on part of my system that I don't share here that need to be filled here. I base it on the DCT liquidation heat map that you see how accurate it is. I received a total of 8 DMs from yesterday's video for my referral code for DCT. So I guess people are paying attention. You do want more information, which is great. And I encourage you guys, if you want to try out the DCT heat maps, these heat maps right here, he's got a lot more information than just heat maps. Send me a DM and I'll give you the referral code. Look what we did. Look what we did. That heat, look at this. Look at this. Right to it. And look where we pivot. Once we took out that, we pivot. And look what we're doing. Look, we came up here, we took that heat, and look where we pivot. Now we're starting to climb up. Do you see, when you have a system where you rely on data, you don't have to rely on bias. I much rather have a system that relies on data than bias, because you know what? Bias doesn't give you any type of probability. It just means that's what you want. Market doesn't care what you want. Prove to me, make a case for us to go higher. That to me, in my opinion, carries more merit. So at the moment, I've got a lower high rule up here. I've got liquidity zones. You see these red bars here. Let me show you this. You see these red bars here? Liquidity zones. You see this here? This is liquidation zones. So I'm building my case for us to come up here based on data, not based on what I feel, what I think, what bias, what Twitter wants to hear. No. However, I'm very conscientious that we may not even cross here. We may get rejected from the underside of the daily 50 EMA. And that was another point for me to come down here, that on the 50 EMA, when we left it, we never back tested. And 90% of the time we back test that. And we killed 2 birds with 1 stone when we came here, because these two were lined up together. We actually landed on the 50 first, and then on the next candle, we hit the purple. We landed right on the 50 to the penny. And then we came down here. It's incredible to see how accurate the TA is. And I can't say it's my TA. You know why? Because this isn't mine. I didn't invent this. I didn't invent the EMAs, the channels, none of this. The market has been using those indicators for 100 years. All I did is adopt them, utilize them, back test them. Well, I guess that's the wrong way. Back test them and then utilize them. And that's it. And that's what I teach on my Discord. Every single day when I wake up, first thing I do, I get my cup of coffee, I jump on live. We even do live trading on my Discord. We look for I show them my system. You can do it. Today we took a long on Pepe. We think, look, guys, you can, in the market like this, I don't recommend you trade alts right now, because we have a news event. But you could make money anytime. Go to the 1 minute time frame. Went to the 1 minute time frame. We look for an oversold RSI. We look for market structure and we took the long. We put our target for the 300 EMA on the 1 minute time frame. We closed it. I raised on my leverage to 10x. I made 7.26%. I just had a post from one of my other members who took the trade. He did a 20x. He got 18.47%. It's not that difficult to do this. It really isn't. Once you validate your system. Validating system is not easy. It takes years of losses and even more losses before you get it right. And that's why I created the Telegram channel for $25. If you don't want to learn, you just want to be told where to buy and where to sell, $25 a month. Send me a DM and I'll send you a link for that. Or you go to bctgsignal.com, but I'd rather give you the actual link for scammers that I'm sure have already built websites or on an incorrect spelling, and it's going to look exactly like my website, and I don't want you guys to fall for that. So I'd rather you contact me directly. I'll give you the exact link, and then you can join for $25 and you see if it's worth it or not. For today, we have to be very careful. We have a news-driven event that a lot of economists say it can have up to a 10% movement on the market. And they're doing it after hours. So when New York closes, that's when they do it. But you know what? We have a 24-hour market. So if the news is bad, there's going to be a reaction in crypto. And then when Asia opens a few hours after that, that bad reaction is going to continue. And then tomorrow, when New York opens, you're going to see a massive follow through, whether it's good or bad. And that's the data we need to wait. We need to wait for that data to come out. As much as I want to say, okay, let's backtest here and let's automatically short it, we got to be careful. We can do it for a scalp, but if that news is good, we're going to blow through all of this and we're going to follow this path. We're going to follow this. Harmonic pattern, even with this drop, the harmonic pattern is still valid at $70,000 target. Why? Because this is the higher low. All we did is put another higher low. Look, low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We didn't break. The moment we close below this previous higher low, this harmonic becomes invalidated. This is not invalidated. Are the market makers going to make this obvious? Absolutely not. Look at the contracts, guys. Last week, yesterday they wiped out $20 billion in long contracts. Now we built up since yesterday $13 billion in short liquidations, meaning that if the market goes up, it's going to knock them out. Let me give you a quick view of how I utilize this data on HighBlock with my team. I'm going to show you something. Look at this. This is what we do on a daily basis. When we drop, automatically we go to this here. And we look for these massive contracts. 330 million 100x contract. 180 million. And when these pop out, 95% of the time, we're going to see a push right up. Right up. They're not going to pay these guys out. They're going to knock them out. And look what they did. They went right up and knocked out. They knocked out 180, 330. These are short contracts. 180. These are 50x. These are 100x contract. These olive color and these teal colors are 50x. So they took out the 330 100x and the 330 50x, the 180 100x, and the 100. And of course, a lot of small in between. But I'm looking at the bigger ones. Those are the ones that I know that the market makers are going to hit. Look at this. When they took out this one, look at this. Look at this wick. Look where the contract is. Okay, look at the contract is here, and look at this contract here, 150, 100x contract. That's exactly what they did. They went right up to that contract, and look, and it pivots. And then this guy thought he was safe for 130 million. And look, they came and took him out. This is how the market operates. This is how the market moves. And you wonder, okay, well, who's buying? Who's selling it? No. The market makers are trapping you to do this on a daily basis all day long. You see all these clauses? All of this was taken out. And all of this is going to get taken out. And all of this is going to take it out. It's a matter of looking at the individual contracts when they come out to get a directional bias of where we're going to go next. depends on those contracts. And it takes a while. It takes a skill. It's not easy. You're not going to just sign up to this and automatically know exactly. No, you have to follow this for hundreds of hours and recognize a pattern on which one of those are going to go first. And that's what I teach. That's what I do on the Discord, not on my Telegram. My Telegram, I just tell you blindly. You blindly have to follow me. That's it. It's just a blindly here, buy here, sell here, stop loss here, and that's it. You don't get nothing. You don't get nothing else. And you shouldn't for $25. So it's like, going back to our daily time frame, what we're looking, our hourly time frame. Right now, guys, you're going to have to be very patient, very, very patient. And the data is on the bull side at the moment. Okay, so the bulls have enough of a magnet to get us up here. It's up to the bears to see if they can give up some of that control to get us up here. That I don't know. This is the only thing you need to worry about right now. This one, and I would say maybe this one as well. Because if we start getting a lot of rejections here and we're unable to climb here, then more downside is coming. And this will get tagged at a later time. Remember, don't think that this has to happen right away. We could come all the way down to 50,000 and then tag this. Or never come down to 50,000 or much later. Because here's a problem, guys. You see this here? You see this? When this happened here, I told you about the probability of here. I showed it to you. These objectives have the exact same probability as this. So you can't pick and choose when you want the probabilities to happen. So now you got to come up with the thesis of a macro view. Now let's talk about that for just a minute. What does all that mean? That means that I know, just like I was certain that this was going to happen with a very high probability, that this is going to happen. So if I want to see on a macro monthly scale this to play out, what do I want to see as a bull? I want to see this get over with. I want to get this resolved. Because if it doesn't resolve right away and we end up taking this path, what happens? Well, we fall into the seasonality chart that has, I told you yesterday, 11 years look back. 8 of those years were red. 7 years in a row were red. So what do you think the probability is going to be if we don't come down here and we push up to the top of this? Oh, BC, when we get here, we're just going to break through it. No, you're ignorant for saying that. You have to be completely ignorant for saying that we're going to come up here and we're going to go to all-time high. You know why? Because I have the data on my side. I have 5 months of data that says you're full of shit. I have 5 months of data that says when we hit here, we're going to drop. 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 What data do you have? Show me your data. Post it on the comment in this video. Show me your data that says that when we get here, we're going to break up. Where's your probability at? My probability is to the downside. Now not only do I have this as a data, I have the seasonality chart as a second backup for probability that we're going to go lower. And I don't want to go lower. That's the thing, guys. I don't want to go down here. But if we're going to go down here, I want to get it over with so we can get up here. This is where I would like to go. But it doesn't matter what I like. But I understand that this has to be taken care of. We have to invalidate the seasonality data. And could it happen? Absolutely. But you know what's going to need? We're going to need to break above here on a daily time frame. We're going to have candle closes because all of these breaks were deviations on wicks. Look, nothing but wicks up here. We need a full candle body close. We need a full candle body to stay up here. We need some consolidation and proper market structure on the lower time frames to indicate that we're finally, after 5 months, flipping this. Now we can think higher. Now we can think higher. And because we have this beautiful flag pattern for the past 5 months on the monthly time frame, I am going to have a bias. My bias is going to be a flag pattern breaks up until proven otherwise. And it's not going to be easy, guys. I guarantee you that when they break out, you're going to see some flushes. They're not going to make it easy. Everybody thinks, oh, we're going to see one green candle. We're going to go. No, you crazy. Where do you see that here? While they were forming this, where do you see that obvious just let's go? No, look at this. This is a daily time frame. Look at these violent moves. You think they're going to go straight to $100,000? Not going to happen. You don't know what to look for? You are going to be left behind. Everybody thinks, oh no, once this happens, that's it. No, you're not. If it was, then you would have caught each one of these and each one of these, and you would have been very successful. Chances are you didn't. Chances are you're like everyone else on Twitter. You got chopped up to death. They're going to do the same thing here, and you think you're gonna succeed, and you're not. Because when you see these massive drops, deviations below here, fine, we're going back down. You're going to get out. They're going to bring it back up. Oh, I'm going to jump back in. You're going to go back down. Oh, I knew I was right. You're going to get back out. Same way they did that here. And yet, look, we never left here and we never left here. Deviations, right back into it. Ugly deviation, yes, but look at the candle body. Right back up. So be careful if you think you have this figured out. Most likely you don't. I know I don't. So that's why I have to look at a macro view like this, come up with some probabilities, not only based on historical data, but based on data that's coming, which is like the NVIDIA, that may shift which one of these two probabilities is going to play out. Then I go to the hourly time frame to frame out setups and look for those validations and look for those invalidations. Because on a daily time frame, you may not see this. We may break above here, back test, consolidate, and then start heading up. And you know what it's going to look like on a daily time frame? It's going to look like this. It's going to look like that. You're like, well, where's the validation? Well, not like this, but like this actually. Obviously a green candle. But what I meant that it doesn't look like nothing happened in here when it could have already happened and you weren't aware of it. You weren't aware of it because you didn't know what time frame to look to view that. So if it does this and it already backtests and you're waiting for a backtest to happen, you're going to miss out. You're like, oh no, I got to wait for BC's backtest. Oh, buddy, it already happened. You're looking at the wrong time frame. So you didn't get to see it. Now you missed it. So again, that's why I'm not perfect. I take my losses like everyone else, but I view the market in different time frames and know what to look for in each time frame to help me shift the probability on my side. That's all I can do as a trader. Hope that the probability stays on my side. Know what I'm looking at. Look at this here. We're almost going to close this candle below this here. So now what happens here? This is what happens on here. Now, if this candle stays here, when it closes and it doesn't get back up here, I'm going to be forced to do this. Most likely that's what's going to happen. But I'll get ahead of myself and I'll just put this here. Now look, this now becomes a 618 tag. Look, the perfect 618 tag. However, I now have this here to contend with. And when I put this on my chart, this is the consolidation rule. This is the rule that says you're more likely going to respect this, but now you're going to have to wait a lot longer. And it makes sense. Why? Because no one wants to do anything. Why? Because we have very high, violent impact news coming up. So naturally, just like when we have CPI and PPI and FOMC the day of or the day before, the market kind of stops. Kind of just goes sideways. Nobody wants to do anything. Just sit on your hands and let's wait. That's exactly what you should do. So that's why I said this might not happen today. We wanted to see it happen today, but it might not. There is a lot that we need to consider. All right, guys. These videos were supposed to be 15 minutes. Yesterday and today's, I really went over because of a lot's going on. But as you can see, I do go in depth into my videos, but I'm not going to do this every day for you guys. So I'm going to tomorrow and moving forward. Well, first of all, I'm leaving on vacation again today. So I'll be gone for a week. So I don't know if I'll be able to even make these videos for you. I will be making them for my Discord group 100% for them, but I don't know if I'll have the time for Twitter. And if I do, from now on, I'm going to give you the broad strokes. If you want to take the time to learn how to go in depth And this is just a portion. Again, you don't see all of the data that I use, all of the different indicators that I use, and they even help confirm what I talk about without my indicators. They help confirm that bias, for that directional bias. If you want to do that, then you can join the Discord. If you don't want to know about it and you just wanted the 15-minute quick, then that's fine. No problem. But I just want to make sure that you understand that I'm not going this in depth with you guys. I've already done it for, I think 3 days now. I've had these videos a lot more than 15 minutes. But I wanted just to show you that I kind of know what I'm talking about. And if you want to continue to have this in depth, come join my Discord. If not, just hang out for the 15-minute and the broad strokes, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys? Have a really good day. Have a blessed week. I am going to have some fun this week with some friends. We're going with another couple, and just have some fun. So hopefully we'll see what happens with NVIDIA, and let's see if it truly is going to be a massive directional news event. I don't know if it is. Sometimes we hear that from other news, and it becomes a nothing burger. I don't know. I really don't know. So we're just gonna have to wait. Let's wait and see on a macro level which one of these is gonna play out first. Have a great day.